Let's bring in Fox News contributor and former NYPD inspector, as well as attorney.
You too.
Let's bring in Paul Mauro. Paul, it's a lot of stuff that's fluid. Typically, we had the mother on earlier this morning. A lot of the things that she brought up is typical police officer procedure, but when you're a grieving mother, you don't know any of that, you don't hear any of that.
That's right. That's right. All you're thinking about is your family member. So let's tease out some of this. First of all, she has hit her majority. She's 19. She's an adult, right? Unless you have indicia of foul play, unless you have some really suspicious circumstances that indicate that the person as an adult is a danger to themselves or others, it's generally not carried as a missing person. This changed when the body was found. There are, however, some questions here, and you and I were talking about them offline. The main one that jumped out at me, and the fact pattern that we know, is that her phone was found in a friend's purse in the woods at a distance from where the body was found. Now, you have to say to yourself, what is the fact pattern that led to that?
Right.
There's a lot of interviews that have to be conducted here. You notice that the police are leaning very heavily on the ME report. They're saying, let's wait for the cause of death. They're likely going to want to see the toxicology before they make any big statements here. That can take a couple of weeks, depending, because you have to test for various things, and some of them take longer. It may be a little while before the real facts emerge here. One thing I would say, though, is, it was a very cautious statement that the police put out. There was that series of deaths in Lady Bird Lake down there in Austin.
The mom talked about that.
She talked about that. And that's a patina that lays over this thing. And to be frank, that was never wonderfully handled by the Austin Police Department. I'm just going to be frank. I say that as a cop. I know what it's like on the police side of things, but I actually spoke to that agency. And their answer was essentially, we put out a statement, nothing to see here. They needed to do, I think, better in that one. And I think that in this one, to say now, we don't see a homicide, but we're waiting to see, I would have softened that, because we don't know what's going to come back from the ME. Unless they have some fact here, maybe video or something that they can really lean on, I think at this point you have to say, let's wait and see.
Copy that. I want to play this because this has become a big story, because it talks about the crime that's happening in a place that you use the police, and that's New York City. This is a student recounting the assault that took place on Monday. Let's watch.
I should not be scared to be walking the street to go to my 9:30 a.m. class. These people are disgusting, and they should not be able to be walking around the street freely, targeting girls and doing this. I'm honestly still in shock, but I'm more enraged that things like this are able to happen in this city, and we really need to do something about it, because this is unacceptable.
She's totally right. It's unacceptable, but it's been happening for a while.
Yeah, it really has. More power to her for speaking up here. It would have been very easy for her to just go along with her day. She's got a New York story to tell. That's not a good one. Yeah. And then that's the end of it. She goes on social media. She publicizes this. And I'm going to be honest here. I saw it and double-tapped it and tagged the NYPD, which other people I'm sure did as well. My point is, the idea here was to keep it in the news, because then it's going to get some attention. And unfortunately, there are so many of these. And you knew once it got this kind of play, the detectives were going to get on it. Once they have the resources, they're going to get you. I know these detectives. They really are great. They know the terrain here very, very well. The problem is he's probably out already, because this happened in Manhattan. It's Alvin Bragg. And we know that the policy is the revolving door. So I'm glad they got him. I'm glad she spoke up. I hope now she's maybe a little wiser, because it sounds like she's shocked by this. A lot of us are not that shocked.
Hopefully others are alerted as a result of this.
Exactly.
Excellent job, Paul. You can catch Paul in his new show as the co-host in the brand new Fox News, Fox Nation crime series, The Weekly Rap Sheet. It's available on Fridays, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll enjoy it. Thanks, Paul.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.